Good afternoon, dear students. I am Dr. Sujata from SDC Degree College, handling 4th Sem BCom Personality Development. In my previous class, that is Unit 2, I was discussing about self-awareness. Part 1 has been completed. Now, I will be discussing about Part 2, that is stress management. Are you guys ready? Right from the time of birth till the last breath drawn, an individual is invariably exposed to various stressful situations, isn't it? The modern world, which is said to be a world of achievement, is also a world of stress and has been called the age of anxiety and stress. Stress is a feeling of a tension. It is a feeling of tension that occurs when a person assesses that a given situation is about to exceed his or her ability to cope and consequently will be endanger his or her well-being. That is, when the person feels that they cannot finish the work in time and it is overburdened, they get stress. Stress occurs when the pressure is greater than the resources. So here stress is occurred whenever the pressure is more than the resources. So I will be discussing in detail about the stress and how to manage the stress in the coming slides. You may ask why it is important to know about stress. It is very important that everyone has stress for many reasons. We should know how to manage it. Stress is a normal, universal human experience for an youngsters like you all. For instance, attendance at college has been recognized as one of the most stressful times in one's life. The secondly, successfully completing one's college degree and enjoying one's college experience requires flexibility, adaptation, and persistency. Therefore, learning to effectively manage stress can increase or enhance the students to do well in college and in later life as well as. Now, you may also ask, when does stress occurs? It results when we perceive an imbalance between the demand placed on us and in a given situations. Once again, I repeat, it is the result when we perceive an imbalance. Imbalance is when we are not able to fulfill our demands. Once the demand rises and when we don't fulfill that situation or that demand, when we are not able to meet all those demands on time or whenever we are needed, then we undergo this stress. This stress also involves three key components. That is, the first one is the situation and its demand. The second one is our subjective appraisal of the situation according to the situations. We go for a demand. When the demand is not fulfilled, we go under stress. Our perceived resources for meeting the demands. This is the third. The first situation is the demand. The second one is the subjective appraisal of the situation. And the third one is meeting the demand. So this is the main reason for the stress. The word stress was originally used by Searle in 1956. According to him, stress is defined as the pressure or the experience by the person in response to life's demand. These demands are referred to as stressors, and it includes a large of life events like physical factors. Example, cold, hunger, pain based on the environmental conditions and as per the personal thoughts. Stress is often termed as the 20th century syndrome born out of man's race towards modern progress and its ensuing complexity. This was said by Benjamin Franklin. Now, what exactly the stress is? Stress is your mind and body's response or reaction to the real or imagined threats that happens in your life or the events or the changes that happens in one's life. Threat events or changes are commonly called as stressors. Stressors can be internal or external. Internal stressors are our own thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes. Externals are like the loss. Someone dies, some loved ones dies, or some tragedy happens to ourselves or to somebody, or some changes in life. All this are the causes for our stress. Stress typically describes a negative conditions that can have an impact on an organism's mentally and physically well-being. So according to the survey, it says that teens and college students are under more stress since adolescence is a period of significant changes that happens in physical and emotional and social and academics. So stress can be good as well as bad too. Stress is good as well as bad too. It's important to remember that stress is a natural part of life which comes through nature. Nobody wants the stress, nobody wants the pain, but everyone want to be happy and free from stress. But experiencing stress can be good as well as bad. But if it can also have a negative effects on one's well-being. What makes stress a positive or negative factors that lies within the effectiveness that the person experiencing in his life, that he should know how to manage this stress. Stress can be positive or negative. It can be called even as two types of stress, that is positive or negative stress which a human being faces. Negative stress occurs in minor conditions such as headache, digestive problems, skin complications, insomnia and ulcers. If such stress is excessive and prolonged, it can have a harmful effect on mental, physical and spiritual health. On the other hand, there is a positive stress which can also have a positive effect. It is also known as good stress. Positive stress can also refer to the time you respond well to the challenges that you are having an experience from a stressor. It's a type of stress response that we feel when we get excited. Example, receiving a promotion or starting a new job or new business or buying a house, getting university rank, holiday seasons, taking a vacations, etc. All this are positive stress. So now I hope you understood about the negative stress as well as the positive stress. Good and bad stress can even be said as eustress and distress. Eustress are also known as positive stress, which occurs when your level of stress is high enough to motivate you to move into the action to get things accomplished. Whereas distress or negative stress occurs when your level of stress is either too high or too low and your body and your mind begins to respond negatively to the stressors. So this is known as eustress and distress. This is also called as the types of stress. Now let's see the different types of stresses. Stresses are due to external and internal. How the human beings are getting stressed? It's because of external stressors and because of internal stressors. Now let me tell you about the external stressors or the stresses which happens due to physical environment, social interactions, organizational major life events and daily ACEs. Let me give you some examples of all this. First one is the physical environment. The physical environment, why people are getting stressed, it's because of noise, bright lights, heat and confined spaces. Confined spaces is nothing but congested places. And second one is social interaction. Because of rudeness, people may be very rude and some people may not be aware of others. They want to hurt others and they can't understand others. In such cases, when they are rude, the other people get stressed. Bossiness, when they are working or somebody does bossiness, then they get stressed. And aggressiveness by others, and bullifying is nothing but geli madodo. Then the next one is organizational, that is the rules, regulation, and the deadline to finish the works. All this causes the stressness. The major life event which causes the stress is the birth, the death, loss of jobs, promotions. When we don't get the promotions at the right time, and the right promotions or the designations, or the marital status changes when they get married, and when they go for a different life or different place or different lifestyle, the stress happens. And daily hassles like commuting, misplaced keys, mechanical breakdowns. These are the some of the examples of external uh, stressors. These are the external stressors. Now, how do you feel that you have got a stress? When you feel you are worried, you are tensed, tired, frightened, elated, depressed, anxious, anger, all this are the feelings of stress. Let me tell you about the internal stressors. The internal stressors are the lifestyle choice, negative self-talk, mind traps, and personality triads. Now, negative a lifestyle choice. This is called as lifestyle choice. That is, you are choosing your life. Like you think that it is bad, it is good, I can do, I cannot do. That is the lifestyle choice. That is you choose. You are the person who is sowing the seeds. Like you have to sow the seeds in the right way. You have to sow the seed, the good seeds which develops. Like you are the chooser. Like once you sow the seed, you are going to reap whatever you are sown. So you are choosing that lifestyle. So that is the internal stressor. That is we ourselves put under the stress. So that is the lifestyle choice. The second one is the negative self-talk, that is pessimistic thinking, self-criticizing, and over-analyzing, asking ourselves that we are not able to do this, we are not capable of doing this, I am not good at. All this is a negative self-talk. For instance, if I ask a student who is good at singing, now if I ask A to come and sing, he will say no. Though he is good at singing, he will say no. B is very good at singing, he is better than me. So that is called as the negative self-talk. The third one is mind traps, that is unrealistic expectation. We know that some things cannot happen, but still we expect that. Taking things personally. So when somebody is cracking joke, it must be a general joke, but sometimes what will happen, he or she is indicating me, he or she is pointing out me. That is taking things personally. All or nothing thinking. All or nothing thinking, not thinking anything. Exaggregation. So exaggregations is also one of the causes for internal stressors to get stress. Then rigid thinking, always thinking in one direction, that is called as rigid thinking. Then personality triads, because humiliating, compassion, then empathy, kindness, all this are one of the personal triads of internal stressors. Well, let me tell you about the symptoms of stress. The symptoms of stress is caused due to the physical symptoms, mental symptoms, behavioral and emotional symptoms. Now let me tell you about the physical symptoms. The physical symptoms example they have given is sleeping pattern. That is sleep pattern changes. Normal Indian timing for an healthy person and sleeping time is 9 a.m. to 5 a.m. But as a student, you just tell me, do you guys follow the timing? Definitely not. You go to the bed at 12 a.m. or 1 a.m. midnight and wake up in the next day at 12 p.m. and 1 p.m. And you miss your breakfast and directly go for the brunch, and later on even the dinner gets postponed. So what happens? It leads to fatigue means extremely tiredness resulting from mental and illness. So it leads to digestion changes, loss of sexual drive, headache, aches and pain in body, infection, indigestion, dizziness, fainting, sweating and trembling, tingling hands and feet, breathlessness, palpitations and missed heartbeats. The next is the mental symptoms. Mental symptoms are like lack of concentration, memory lapses, difficulty in making decisions, lot of confusions, disorientation. Disorientation means inability to focus or give more attention, being very slow, not being able to recognize people, and also agitation and being upset is called as disorientation, and panic attacks comes due to mental symptoms. Due to behavioral symptoms, what happens is the appetite changes, that is too much eating or too little eating, or eating disorder happens, that is anorexia and bulimia. So anorexia means unwanted fear of being overweight, and bulimia means often forcing yourself to vomit, or your face get swelled. Then increase intake of alcoholic and other drugs, also one of the behavioral symptoms. Sometimes what happens is when you don't get sleep, you just take the drugs, I mean the tablets, or sleeping tablets, or heavy dose tablets, like Avil, Betson, or etc. I don't know, some more tablets are there. When we take, we get very drowsiness. I've seen students taking such tablets in order to get sleep. And increase smoking. If it is an adult, people who are working, if they are overstressed, you can see they come out of the office and they smoke and then enter. Then it leads to restlessness, then fidgeting, nails biting, and hypochondria. These are the reasons of behavioral symptoms. Let me tell you about hypochondria. Hypochondria is nothing but worrying about having serious illness, that is known as health phobia or anxiety. Now, coming to the stress related illness. Stress is not the same as ill health, but it has been related to such illness as cardiovascular diseases, immune system diseases, asthma and diabetes. You would have seen, like if you go to the doctor, they will ask you what is the reason for getting all these diseases. If you have got a cardiovascular, it can be heredity, or sometimes it is due to the stress. Immune system is, doctor will say, because of your lifestyle changes, or because of some stress, or asthma also because of stress. And diabetes, now we can see more and more people are getting diabetes. Now if you ask people what is the reason of your diabetes, they will say they have got this type 2 diabetes. It is because of stress, and because of their lifestyle or food habits, or etc. So, and also there are some more disorders which happens due to this stress. That is, the illness is digestive disorders, ulcer, they get skin complaints, which many people gives. Then headaches and migraine happens because of the stress. And premenstrual syndrome for the youngsters like you all. And the depression, always people will be like lost in the forest, like they will never smile. So if we see them, we'll ask, what happened, why are you so depressed? So all this or the stress which is related to the illness. Thank you, dear students. I'll be discussing more about stress and how to manage the stress in the next video. Until then, take care. Bye.